Is it true that the survival rate for people with COVID was higher than people with the flu?
Well, it depends on how you break that down because infection fatality rate versus case fatality rate, there was all sorts of numbers. The amount of people that had COVID per year was much higher than the amount of people that come down with influenza. So if your denominator is much bigger, in general, and you take the number of people that died from COVID, then yeah, it could be true that the number of people that got COVID, especially if you factor in young people and
Did they
healthy
die
people.
from it or with it?
So this is where the debate is, and I understand there's two sides to this debate, and there's different schools of thought, and this may get me into hot water with both schools of thought. I won't claim to know the facts on this 100%, but I believe as a virus, as a respiratory virus, it was novel and it was virulent, meaning it was the original strain that came out of China and then mutated into the first couple of
Mm-hmm.
strains and the Delta strain. I had the Delta strain and it was very bad. I needed to be hospitalized. I remember breathing like someone that cannot expand their lung fully, and I developed bilateral pneumonia to the point where I was gasping for air and my oxygen level objectively had dropped into the 70s. So if you already had very little reserve, let's say, as a human being, let's say you have COPD, fibrosis, let's say you have a very weak heart. In general, today, if you get influenza and you have those, you could be in trouble and you could die. You could get a common cold virus, adeno, rhino, even the other coronaviruses, and be in deep water and potentially die. So when people say, did they die from coronavirus as opposed to with it? It's a very subjective almost question, because how do you prove that the virus 100% killed them, and how do you prove that 100% it didn't kill them? Because had
Mm-hmm.
they not gotten the virus while they had these underlying conditions, they may be still around. But since they got this virus, it could have pushed them over the edge to death, or their condition just spontaneously at that moment with the virus in their body decided to take them overboard. So it's open.